Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 185. The rumors about the refreshed Model 3 is spelling trouble for the legacy automakers. And Tesla is now outselling Toyota in California. And Tesla also scored the #1 spot in customers' satisfaction. And we have CEOs of dealerships now saying they will never drive anything but EV going forward. And GM is firing some more people. And Tesla is getting ready for the Cybertruck delivery event, and we see the frunk of the Cybertruck in some kind of action as well. And Volkswagen is raising prices of most of their ICE vehicles. And Tesla becomes the world's biggest energy storage systems supplier here in the first half of 2023. What do you know? Apparently, not just a car company. All this and much more on today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
Tesla is outselling Toyota in California, but that is not all. At the same time, scoring the #1 spot in customer satisfactions along with Lexus in a new survey. The best-selling vehicle in Q2 in California was the Tesla Model Y, of course, which sold 74,767 units through June 2023. In second place is the Tesla Model 3, which sold 41,718 units. So Tesla has the two best-selling car models in California. Not just EVs, but car models. Very impressive. In the #3 spot, we have Toyota Camry with 27,169 sales, followed by Toyota RAV4 with 26,032. But that's not all. The American Customer Satisfaction Index is a national indicator of the quality of economic output for goods and service and helps customers to make decisions based on the experience of others. The index was developed at the University of Michigan and helps track customers' satisfaction amongst more than 400 of the largest companies in the United States. And they released its 2023 study for the American automotive industry, which revealed Tesla had tied with Lexus for the lead among luxury automakers. So just as Tesla has become the one you're looking for performance instead of Porsche and for safety instead of Volvo, we now see it is also the one with the most satisfied customers within the luxury segment. And the most impressive thing is that Tesla now scores as high on satisfaction as Lexus, but with the volume of Toyota. Yeah, it's really not much left for the haters to hate about when it comes to Tesla. And before we continue, let's just get a word from today's sponsor, Endel. Endel is an environment-based non-profit app that takes everything we know about sounds and combines it with cutting-edge technology. The result is real-time, personalized soundscapes designed to help you relax, focus, or fall asleep. Endel is informed by science. They're created by scientists and are backed up by science. So whether you want to boost your productivity or calm your mind or help you fall asleep, Endel can do just that. I personally use it when I need to focus on a task, as I don't personally use music because I find that more distracting, because I just end up singing along if it's a good song. But just sounds that helps your mind into a more focused state, that is much more my cup of tea. And also between work, during the day, because as a former top 5 freediver in the world, I use breathing exercises every day anyway to de-stress myself. And Endel's soundscapes are perfect for relaxing the mind, and my mind can just escape into the soundscape and calm down even quicker. I really enjoy that together with my breathing exercises. But Endel has also taken it a step further for the car industry as well, because Endel partnered with the group's research of Mercedes-Benz AG to test a potential introduction of a one-of-a-kind AI-powered Endel car experience to keep drivers calm and alert. Now that is not a bad idea, right? And they also have an app for your Apple Watch that actually became the Apple Watch of the year in 2020. That just makes Endel very simple to use, even from your wrist. So if you feel like you could use some help to either calm yourself, boost your productivity, or maybe need some help winding down and falling asleep, go to my custom link down in the description. The first 100 people to download Endel with my custom link will get a free week of audio experience. So click the link down below to get started today, and a big thanks to Endel for sponsoring this video. We hear a lot about how Tesla is getting beaten by the competition, but the Model 3 is still the second best-selling EV in the world, even with all the competition coming and the rumors of the refreshed Model 3. And that car will spell some trouble for the competition. Because when we take the price into calculation, as Roland has done on this chart, Tesla's accomplishment with the Model Y and the Model 3 as the two best-selling EVs in the world is just even more impressive. On the top 10 here, they are the most expensive vehicles while selling the most units. And if you are thinking, where are all the legacy automakers on this list? Well, it is just Tesla and the Chinese. Just as we have been predicting for years, the Chinese and Tesla are going to take over from the legacy automakers that can't keep up. Just look at this list of the top models in the world. Not only are the legacy automakers absent from this list, but the Model Y, all on its own, sold almost twice as much as the entire Volkswagen Group did with their many models. Volkswagen only sold 322,000 units in the first half of 2023, so not much more than the Tesla Model 3 did in the first half of 2023. So even though Volkswagen, the group, said they will catch up with Tesla, the brand, they can't even keep up with just one of their models. And we can also see, as I talked about in October of last year, that the BYD Han is just too expensive here in Europe. So the good sales the Han have does all come from China. But as you can also see on this chart, it is also the most expensive after the Teslas, but its sales is nowhere near Tesla's. Also because here in Europe, the Han has only sold year to date 229 units. So that is still just a rounding error for Tesla's sales of the Model 3 here in Europe, and the Model Y is only something like 560 times higher. And even BYD's most successful model here in Europe, which is the Auto 3, has only sold about 3,500 units a year to date as of writing this. So the Model Y is still outperforming the Auto 3 by about 37 times more units in sales. Or even the Model 3 is 10 times bigger. So while BYD is still the king in China, they still have to show they can also become a big boy in Europe. Because even in Norway, where they have been for years, they still don't have any models in the top 40. The Auto 3 year to date sits at the spot 50 of best-selling EVs in the country. Maybe this will change when they get a factory up and running in Europe, but I think they need to adjust the prices quite a bit. The MG4, also a Chinese car, is doing way better in Europe than BYD is. So we will see what will happen, especially when we know the refreshed Model 3 will come out very soon, and the rumors are saying it will have about 70 kilometers more range than the old version, but be about 15% cheaper. If that is true, this could really spell trouble for the competition, as they are not earning any money on their EVs yet, and now Tesla is going to come out with an even better Model 3 that is more affordable. And in my country, where we do have both the BYD Han and the Model 3, the BYD Han already has a sticker price that is almost twice as high as the Model 3. 330 Danish crowns for the Model 3 and 610 Danish crowns for the Han. So if the new, better, refreshed Model 3 will be 15% cheaper, that means that the new Model 3 could have a starting price as low as 280,000 Danish crowns. So then it will be half the price of the BYD Han. So if BYD wants to sell any Hans in Europe from that point forward, they will have to bring the price down, or they will lose to Tesla big time in Europe. But the Model 3 will also be far cheaper than Volkswagen's ID3. Who would then choose the far inferior ID3 over the more affordable but superior refreshed Model 3? Yeah, I don't think people realize just how big trouble the refreshed Model 3 spells for the legacy automakers. I think even the Chinese are going to feel this one. As NIO, Xpeng, BYD has nothing as capable as the refreshed Model 3 for that price, and they are still losing money, except BYD that has a little bit of profits on the vehicles, but the others are still losing money. Yeah, the new refreshed Model 3 we are waiting for could be a much bigger deal than many are anticipating. And how many times have we heard Tesla is just a car company? Well, as it turns out, they are also the world's biggest energy storage system supplier in the first half of 2023. What do you know? The global supply of energy storage system in the first half of 2023 reached 72.4 gigawatt hours, and Tesla stood for about 10% of all that energy deployment with 7.5 gigawatt hours, making Tesla's Megapacks the world's largest supplier of energy storage system in the first half of 2023, even passing BYD. And I think this is because Tesla just has the best software like Autobidder, but this is only a small part of the full picture of the software Tesla has created for the energy storage system. Tesla's true breakthrough software is their Tesla virtual machine mode. Yes, I know not many are talking about it, but I did make a whole video about it back in April. If you want to dive deeper, I will leave a link to that down below. But as more wind and solar power replace fossil fuel generation, less mechanical inertia is available on the grid, removing a natural stability buffer in the case of a grid disturbance. Inertia is just the kinetic energy in our large generators, but Tesla's virtual machine mode is designed to address these stability challenges by virtually emulating mechanical inertia. Megapacks built-in inverters with virtual machine mode create grid-form dynamics that provide grid strength, response to added and rejected loads, and maintain quality voltage at the point of interconnection. In South Australia, the Hornsdale Power Plant Reserve alone can provide up to 3,000 megawatt seconds of inertia by using virtual machine mode, roughly half of the entire state's entire inertia needs from just this one battery plant, thanks to Tesla's software that they started tested last summer. One grid operator using Tesla's virtual machine mode even said they will not make a grid on 100% renewable without this software. They tried, but it didn't work. You need this kind of software to make a grid on 100% renewables work. And this is something no one else has yet but Tesla. Tesla is pioneering the energy business, just as they did with their Autobidder software that sells and buys energy to and from the grid. So Tesla's system is the one to get, and that is why they are the best selling in the world right now, as Tesla also showed off with their solar inverter architecture white paper. Their levelized cost of energy, LCOE, is the cheapest on the market. LCOE is just the lifetime cost of the system divided by the lifetime energy generation of the system. And Tesla is the cheapest, but also most reliable and most energy dense system you can get. And did I mention the cheapest? There is just no contest here. So if you need a system like this, Tesla is the best and the cheapest. Very hard to compete with this, especially when Tesla has taken the scaling of the battery packs to a level never seen before in the entire industry, and get the economy of scale that no one else even is planning for. So it is not so difficult to understand why Tesla has become the leader in the energy storage system. Just like with the EVs, you just get the full package from Tesla, and Tesla has already deployed more energy storage this year than they did all of last year. With 7.5 gigawatt hours, that is on track to get at least 15 gigawatt hours, as I talked about in my video in April. And Tesla Energy on X also shared yet another story of how much energy and money you will save by getting a solar panel and Powerwall. Like the bakery Little in Lingen, Germany, significantly reduced their energy cost with solar and Powerwall. After the price for gas surged because of the war in Ukraine, they were at risk of closing as energy costs had become too high. But thanks to their new Powerwall and solar panels, they have now reduced their electricity bill and gas consumption by 50% and have taken control back in their own hands and not be so reliant on gas and electricity prices. And they have now even made destination charges for their customers. Yes, Tesla is pioneering our energy business thanks to their software and a Lathrop factory that are making their maker packs. And Tesla is even building another factory like that in China. This will become a much bigger part of Tesla's business very soon. And let's get our monthly update about the Tesla Giga factories. That means handing over to Brian from My Tesla Weekend. Take it away, Brian.
Hey, Lars. In Fremont, there's a big pour going on over by the casting area. Looks like they're going to be able to make more castings for more models of more cars. There's old Model 3s still shipping out, even though we've seen a lot of Highland progress. In Shanghai, there's a lot of new Highlands piling up under those car covers, but we can also see old Model 3s still shipping out. This tells me that my theory about the changeover is probably correct, that they're using one line for the old ones while retooling the new line. In Berlin, there's a whole lot to cover. The bridge is mostly done over the overpass. The asphalt in the employee area has resumed. And also asphalt at the main entrance of the building there. Over the train station, there is now solar panels going in there, and the supercharger is getting a solar roof. It is just about done. Behind the building, the fire station is done, and behind it, they have poured additional concrete for something. In the northeast, some tents have been removed from the warehouse on wheels area, and the recycle center, it's got a roof. It's got more walls, more blocks have been put up for that. And they've also been pouring more concrete for the expanded warehouse on wheels. In Texas, there's more stain wrapping around the southeast corner of the building. And south of the building, where the expansion is going, there's been a lot more piling with the continuous flight augers, and it's expanding there pretty quickly. In the southwest of the building, windows and walls have been removed, and some of those areas that had windows now have interior walls that you can see through the holes. There are routine sightings of the Cybertruck in the loading and logistics lot almost every day now. The outfall channel has been removed. They took out the landscaping and have redirected it around what will be now a new construction site. The cathode building in the east is getting a lot of work, and the crash test building is coming along quickly, which you can see here. And there's tons of equipment going into this building. They prefab it onto platforms, bring them inside, and assemble them. The Wade pit has been completed and even used a time or two. This is where they test the water resiliency, I guess, of the vehicles. At the north end of the cathode building, the rolling doors and concrete apron have been put in. And there's now a massive clearing in the far northeast. The berm removal has expanded, and the switchyard vault has been sealed off. There's been a lot of transformer work at the Megapack location. This should be getting ready to switch on in the next month or two. The Tesla Road expansion west out to Farm to Market Road is moving along. And in the far west, we've seen footings and slab work and a lot going on over there. Grading continues. In Mexico, we do have footage. What we don't have is any sign of visible progress. And I'm still awaiting written permission to go into greater depth on this footage. It is fair use, but I don't like to exhaust that. I want to make friends and keep things moving smoothly. Back to you, Lars.
Ooh, very nice with some footage from Texas. A lot more to come from down there, I suspect. Thank you, Brian, so much for the update, and see you next month. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this new show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. Sandy Munro was out saying, you heard it here first, guys.
Big news from the SAE. You read it here first.
That SAE, a standard organization, aims to create an industry standard configuration based on Tesla's charging connectors within the next 6 months. But I did report on this 8 weeks ago in my news episode 177, so not really news. Remember, Sandy, you need to watch Best in Tesla to keep you up to date. But nice to hear that Sandy also thinks this is a big deal. And don't forget, if you are buying a Tesla, use my referral code down below so we both get some Tesla credits that can be used to get some MERS or free supercharging miles, acceleration boost, but now also on an invitation for the Cybertruck delivery event. But unfortunately, I don't see it in my Tesla app, so I guess it's only for Tesla owners in the US. And Elon finally showed off live on X Tesla's full self-driving version 12. So this version of the full self-driving software has no code in it. It is all neural net. As Elon said, it's nothing but net. And all done locally in the car. So no big data center needed, no mapping needed, no LiDAR needed. Nothing is needed but vision and neural net. Just like us humans. You can just tell it to drive to a destination and it can do it, no matter where on earth you put it. So very different from crews that want to set up their own mobile phone network in San Francisco because their cars can't drive without internet connection. So Tesla's approach is just so different from anyone else and is the only real scalable solution for a general solution. And boy, did the version 12 drive smoothly. I was very impressed with that drive, but definitely go check out the whole video on X under Elon's account. But now Tesla software can really take off on the exponential growth curve with their 100% neural network. And GM is laying off 200 engineers, as Alex wrote on X. Rumor is that 5,000 experts left already. In a statement, a spokesman for GM told Auto News that the automaker is taking steps to rebalance our engineering resources to better align with our growth strategy. This will require a smaller number of engineers to move to other parts of the organization over the next several months. Yes, they are in desperate need to find a way to cut costs as they ramp up EVs that they are losing money on. Remember, Mary said they will not have an affordable EV between 30 to 40,000 before next decade. So the company is also aiming to cut salary and market spendings by $800 million. I know Mary gets something like $27 million annually, so that would be 3% of that $800 million right there. But they did close their Arizona IT center, eliminating 840 jobs. So that was probably the cost saving of Mary's yearly salary. And as we talked about in last week's news show, Volkswagen would come with some price increases. Well, this week, according to Alex on X, Volkswagen did make a press release saying Volkswagen is responding to an increasing cost in the wake of current high inflation, with the price increase of 3.6% effected by August 31, 2023, for the following models. So while most others are making price cuts in the attempt to grab some market share, Volkswagen is raising prices on their already shrinking ICE sales for short-term profit gains, but long-term market loss. I just don't see this as a good idea. And the Kilowatts got a chance to talk with Jim Farley about what he learned about his road trip he was on in his F-150 Lightning. And Jim definitely found out how much the charging networks matters for an EV owner. As he put it, he will never again talk about range anxiety, but charging anxiety.
And I learned a lot. I mean, I don't think I'll ever use the range anxiety phrase again, because what I saw was charging anxiety. And what I learned a lot is that as we move from the evangelists to the mainstream in EV, that's happened in China, that's happened in Europe, it has not happened here. We're getting into customers who are very uneducated and they don't have a lot of resources to learn. All the Tesla people were in their cars. They weren't talking to each other at all. It's 110 degrees out. They're watching streaming, content. And then there's all the rest of us.
Yeah.
There's Ford and Hyundai, Kia and Polestar, and we're all talking to each other.
Why do you
Because
think that is
we're
now?
using Charge America, and there's maybe one 350 kilowatt charger. The rest are slow speed. A lot of people have never done it before. They're on their first long trip. And we're kind of in a social club trying to figure this out.
Trying to negotiate
Yeah.
the struggle.
Yeah, probably what Tesla customers were doing a couple of years ago. For example, in the 350 charger, there's like 3 people waiting in line, and there's an ethos about not taking too much energy. That's something I think the early adopter Tesla people figured out a long time ago. They don't overcharge. They don't go to 90 or 100%. They'll go to 67% if they can get home on that.
Yes, Tesla owners are just years ahead when it comes to the convenience of charging, with entertainment in the cars while they are waiting to do some charging. But as Jim also said, yes, you don't charge up to 90% if you are just on the way home. If 69 or 42 is enough to get you home, that is all you will charge. But nice to see Jim is out learning firsthand how it is driving an EV on road trips. Little scary that the first time he's doing that is in 2023, but better late than never. And this week we could get more than just Cybertruck sighting. Elon also took a ride in the Cybertruck, as he wrote, just drove the production candidate Cybertruck at Tesla Giga, Texas. Nice. And when asked about announcing delivery events and specs, Elon replied, "When we are ready to do so, we will. While I think it's our best product ever, it is an extremely difficult product to build. We are in uncharted territory because it is not like anything else." But very nice to see a production candidate, as this is pretty much the last step before we get to actual deliveries. We are inching closer and closer. And speaking of the Cybertruck, we also got a leaked email this week from Elon to his employees due to the nature of the Cybertruck, which is made of bright metals with mostly straight edges. Any dimensional variation shows up like a sore thumb. All parts for this vehicle, whether internal or from supplier, needs to be designed and built to sub 10 microns accuracy. That means all part dimensions need to be to the third decimal place in millimeters, and tolerance needs to be specified in single-digit microns. If Leico and soda cans, which are very low cost, can do this, so can we. Precision predicates perfectionism. Yeah, this beast is going to be something very special. And we also got to see the frunk in a little bit of action. 2 workers were covering the Cybertruck up and closing the frunk, but they did this with their hands, but very slowly and carefully. I hope that is because it is an automatic frunk that they are closing manually. As you can do that with your automatic trunk on your Tesla, you can close it manually, but it feels a bit weird to do so. So hope this is the case. And just the last Cybertruck news, we did see the picture of a Cybertruck in the wild, and we saw something we have never seen before, a light bar inside the cabin. Not sure if this will be the final version, but nice to see Tesla playing around with some different features. And a fun little fact, the Model Y is not just the best-selling car in the world, but if some of them gets on the used car market, they are also the fastest-selling used EV in the US, according to IC Cars. And Faraday Future is still working on their FF91 that they showed off in 2017. I reported in news episode 167 that the first Faraday FF91 had rolled off the production line, but Faraday Future was down to only $30 million in the bank, so not sure they could get production ramped up. But now we learn that the first delivery has taken place, and we also get the price of the car. $309,000. Yes, more expensive than the Lucid Air. That is just not selling very well, and I don't think we will see this one in any kind of high volume. So don't really know how they plan to make some money. This is just ridiculous. So instead of buying the Faraday Future, you can buy the Plaid Model S and the refreshed Model 3 and the Model Y, or you can maybe take the Cybertruck instead. So buy all 3 cars and still have money to spare. This is just nuts. And a new ranking that grades companies on their software skills confirms what we already know. Tesla is leading the pack when it comes to software, just in front of the Chinese and the other EV startups, but legacy automakers are lagging behind. And John shared on X how Tesla's revenue has grown through the years, as $73,000 was Tesla's yearly revenue in 2007 before they started production of the cars. But today, they earn about $73,000 in revenue every 23 seconds. And Elon replied, almost like there's a trend. Indeed. As the saying goes, follow the trend lines, not the headlines. And Stephen McRyan shared an example of how big the reach is on X compared to mainstream media. After Tucker shared his interview with Trump, just 22 minutes in, he already had over 43 million views, something that would have taken Tucker about 30 years to get on Fox News. Mainstream media is getting disrupted as well. But we do need to get Trump into a Tesla because he clearly doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to electric cars. From what he's saying here, he might have tried a Leaf something like 10 years ago, because nothing he's saying here in this interview is grounded in reality.
Or have to drive an electric car, which, you have a 4-hour drive, but the car only goes an hour and a half, so you have to charge it. The happiest moment for somebody in an electric car is the first 10 minutes. In other words, you get it charged, and now for 10 minutes. The unhappiest part is the next hour, because you're petrified that you're not going to be finding another charger.
Clearly doesn't understand what the microgrid and virtual power plant and decentralizing of energy will do. We will actually get a lot of cars and houses and much more off the grid. And when we have a 100% renewable energy economy, we will need about half the amount of energy we do today, because electricity is so much more efficient than fossil fuel. Yeah, the politicians have so much to learn. And this leads perfectly over to Texas, that announced that Tesla electric customers with Powerwalls in Dallas and Houston are participating in the first ever ERCOT virtual power plant, as they said. Today's launch of the first phase of the Tesla virtual power plant is a milestone for Texas resident, Texas distribution utilities, and ERCOT's grid, said Drew Bacalin. Our collective work has allowed Tesla to build a decentralized energy ecosystem that seamlessly integrates stored solar energy from Powerwalls into ERCOT's grid. Yes, the future of the grid is not how it works today, Mr. Trump. As Marcus shared on X as well, virtual power plants are by far the easiest way to have your Powerwall pay for themselves while you sit on your couch doing nothing. We are paid $2 per kilowatt hour doing events. About 15 events last year in about 2 weeks span paid us almost $600. Nice. And Tesla and SpaceX donated over 50 Starlink/Powerwall stations to Maui to help the people of Maui to get power and internet after the devastating fires.
And let me show you another community private member, not part of the community, but certainly giving to the community. Starlink, everywhere. Tesla, batteries, running communications for this entire area of Lahaina. That is where everyone comes. I just want to show you something, okay? So you know what you're giving to, what it's helped saving, okay? Just want to show you what you've become a part of as well, Elon. There's the line, right there. There's the line. That's how close it got to the community leader, Archie Kalepa's house, which is now the whole neighborhood powered by Starlink and Tesla. As they'd say, man, appreciate you.
Nice. And Elon posted this picture of the Cybertruck with a car behind it. Not sure if this is just the Model S. It looks a bit like the Model S, but maybe a little bit too short of a nose, I'm not sure. Or is this the Model 3? If it is the Model 3, it will be a hatchback for sure. And maybe Elon is just teasing that the Cybertruck event will also be where they will reveal the Model 3 refreshed. Or maybe this is just a picture of a Cybertruck with a plaid Model S. but it does look a bit small to be a Plaid Model S, but maybe that is just the Cybertruck is so huge and a bit closer to the camera. But luckily we are getting closer to both events no matter what. And we are hearing a lot of people saying they will never buy an EV because they like the noise of the ICE engine. But I think it's because they have never tried a good EV, as instant acceleration beats noise any day, in my opinion. But now we are even hearing some petrol heads saying the same thing. Just listen to Brett Morgan, who is CEO of 66 dealerships.
What do you drive now?
My daily driver will be an EV from here moving forward.
Wow, that's a bold statement. Why do you say that?
Yeah. Well, okay, I think the greatest point of inflection is this. It's got nothing to do, sadly, with the environment. It's got nothing to do with, saving money, lower maintenance because it's a non-liquid services vehicle. Nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with how it drives. When you drive an EV, you can call them, high-powered golf carts, whatever you want, and you get that instantaneous acceleration, it's tough to go back.
Yes, before we end off with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my newest patron and members of this channel. My new Patreon producers is Carrie Roxby, Nigel Cox, Mark Rogerson, and Sarah Bystam. Thank you so much for all your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this new show. Thank you. And a big and special thanks to Supporter of the Week. And this week's winner is Donald Rolls. He has been a cyber supporter for 37 months. So since 2020. Thank you so much for all your support, Donald. Really much appreciated. I will contact you on Patreon for your address so I can send you your Supporter of the Week winner t-shirt. Thank you. And let's end off with a bit of fun. I just saw Mary Barra entering the EV race. That is all we have time for in this new show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out a lot. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. And don't forget, if you want to become an executive producer and get access to all my research and charts and spreadsheets and so on, and get some news articles between Monday to Friday and some exclusive videos, go to bestinTesla.com and join with the members button. If you are already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support. And if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel and get your shout out on this show. You can also become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out and some extra perks. Hit the members button to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I tweet all the news as it comes out and more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. Now it's also possible to support the show without buying anything, becoming a member or a patron. There is a link to a donation options in the show notes. And also as simple as hitting the super like button. But going forward, I will be making more videos for patrons and members only. And I will give my YouTube members and patrons early access to my videos whenever possible and make my videos ads free for members and patrons only. So don't miss out. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.